Okay, let's first start with this really remarkable victory you scored at the European elections earlier this month. Do you expect to go even further at the local elections to gain more?
Well, I don't know because these are different elections. For local elections, people usually vote for their own person locally. I don't really mean anything, or I don't mean much for the local elections, because local people look for local people, and it's pretty well whoever you pull for a sleeve and you ask them to go vote for you. So it's the local names that count this time. But
Yes,
we'll still do very good. We'll still do good because we don't have any members of local. Any local members in towns or cities politics yet. So.
but is this outcome encouraging for you to move forward to develop the party and to aim for the next parliamentary elections, for example?
It is very encouraging because now I see what people think and what people want. So yeah, it is.
Why do you think people chose you?
Because with me, they get exactly what they hear. I don't have second thoughts. I don't lie. I tell people what I think, what I believe in, whether they like it or not. Usually politicians, they try to tell electors what they think they want to hear. But I tell them how I feel and what I believe in. And they said now that all in my 20 years in politics, I've been saying the same thing all the time, which means I really believe in what I do and I do what I believe in.
But isn't that populism?
No, it's not, because I don't tell them what they want to hear. I tell them what I think.
So you do not agree with you being pictured as a populist?
No, I'm not a populist. Populist is a person that he goes around and he tells people what he thinks they want to hear, whether he thinks that or not. But I tell people what I think personally, how I feel and what I think. And when people hear that every year same, then people say, well, maybe I don't agree with her, but she's been saying the same thing for years. Like, she doesn't change her codes overnight.
Yes, but it tends to be that when political parties promise one thing and when they are in government, it's slightly different. Is it because maybe it's different when you are in government?
But no, it shouldn't be different. If I tell you I'm going to buy you a jacket, 3,000 euros, and then I realize I don't have 3,000 euros. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to borrow from somebody to buy it for you. I'm going to say, listen, I thought I had money. I don't have the money. So we're going to try to buy a coat for 300 euros.
Okay.
But you have to talk to people. You work for people. They don't work for you. So you have to tell them exactly what's going on. You have to be very transparent, and that's what I expect, whether you are or not.
You said you were more right-wing than Karamarko's HDZ. Have you decided which political group you will join in the European Parliament?
Not yet. I had some already people contacting me and asking me what do I prefer. But I think when I get there and when I see their way of work, what do they prefer, what do they expect, what do they give, or what do they the way they're working their program, then I'll decide.
Because in your platform on the website of your party, it is said that actually it is a goal of your party to join the European People's Party.
Well, we thought at the time, but we have to change that. Our goal is to join the party that's most closest to our own program.
So, have you considered joining? Do you consider your party or yourself closer to Nigel Farage, for example?
In some cases, yes. In some cases, not. But I have to see his whole program. Now, my people that work with me in the party, they're getting all the particulars from all the other parties, and then we'll see.
So it's not impossible that you can join his political group?
Not if one thing I expect. My party. Where I'm joined, they don't hate anybody. They're not supposed to be against anybody, not the color, not the race, not the language. You have to have your own beliefs, but you cannot put other people down with your beliefs. So
Yeah, but
We'll see.
sometimes in politics you have to compromise and
But-
ally with people that you
But
don't.
but you see, I never promise anything until I'm sure of something. So that's why I can tell you I'm going to join European People's Party or I'm going to join wherever. I'm just telling you I don't know because I want to be sure. We're a small party. We don't have a big staff here in Zagreb that they can defend us. We don't have PR agents that can smooth over things. We're responsible for ourselves. So we really have to think. And medias are we're under microscope.
Yeah.
So what are other parties allowed to do? We're not. So that's why I'm going to go step by step.
So you have a kind of disadvantage.
Yes, I do have a
Compared to
disadvantage, and I have to watch
other
my every step. Yes.
And have you considered which committee you would join in the European Parliament?
I don't think it's going to be up to me because unfortunately this is the last year of this session, and the next elections are next year in May, I think.
Yes.
And they're not going to. It's just like in our parliament because we already have all the clubs, we already have all the everything's set, and I don't think they would change much before the elections.
So it would depend at the European Parliament level. It will be decided which
They
committee you
will
should join.
decide if we are joining or what we're joining. So they're deciding it.
Okay. You said on a number of occasions that your main goal as a member of the European Parliament is to defend Croatia's interests. Which interest would that be?
Whatever is interest of Croatia, everything from funding to language to culture to whatever it takes, because I'm going there with an open heart. I'm going there with not with a thought I need a career. I have to make sure somebody likes me because my career can get further that way. I'm going there to say I'm only there for 10 months and I want to leave and I want my name to be known as somebody that really worked hard for interest of Croatia.
Okay, but in the same time, I mean, last year in the referendum for Croatia's accession to the EU, you actually called on people to vote against. Why did you do that?
Because we're not ready yet. We weren't ready, and we're not ready yet. And they called me anti-European Union, they call me Eurosceptic, they called me all kinds of names. But now, Angela Merkel said maybe Croatia's not ready yet. Canada said Croatia's not ready. America are saying Croatia's not ready. Some other people are saying that because we're not ready. We're not ready. Our commerce is really bad. Our agricultural laws are not good. Our exporting is in shambles because our exporting covers only 46% of importing. So we're not. Now when we go to European Union, we're going there with open hands, please give us something, we need something. But I wanted us to go there, okay, we're stable, we know what we're doing, we're ready, we have everything ready, our people are ready, our small businessmen are ready, we know exactly what we want, we know exactly what we get. Now, if you ask, most of the people in Croatia don't know. They don't know what's going on or what's going to happen once we join the European Union.
You're focusing mainly on the economic situation,
Yes.
That you're not economically prepared. But
No,
do you
we're
think that there are fears, for example, that Croatia is not ready yet in terms of corruption, fight against organized crime? You're famous with your stance.
We're not ready with that yet either, but that's one part that I'm looking forward joining European Union because I think maybe corruption is going to be less there, but they're going to keep an open eyes on us. Their eyes going to be very open. So that's one little part of me as a police officer think, okay, this is going to be much better when it comes to corruption. European Union is going to try to keep us straight.
Bulgaria,
so that's one thing.
They didn't succeed quite a lot with Bulgaria, for example. Because, the accession, the expectation to accede to the European Union kind of makes countries to reform. But you believe that in the European Union it would be better?
I hope so, because now they learn on a situation of Bulgaria and Romania, because they were lax a little bit and they didn't do such a good job. And I think they were more firm towards Croatia. So I think Croatia knows that they're watching us. So I hope so.
Do you believe that Croatia should be imposed some kind of a monitoring mechanism? Maybe not of the likes to the one that is on Bulgaria and Romania, but some kind of monitoring mechanism to keep Croatia.
I just when it comes to corruption, I wouldn't mind that corruption but when everything else, no. I think we were more. They were very strict with us, and they were stricter with us than any other country joining. So, but corruption, that wouldn't bother me.
You have a very comprehensive platform. I read it on the website of the party, and it's really very detailed. But in terms of economy, I kind of find it difficult to find where you stay. I didn't find, for example, the word privatization. What do you think of privatization? For example, in Slovenia, it has really huge problems with state-owned companies and banks.
There are some state-owned companies that should not be privatized ever. That's water, transportation, energy, and at least one bank. I think, and communication. But most of it is privatized already. So, because I think every country needs state-owned. We can sell rail. We can sell shipping. We can sell all the things that are not important as a vein of life for the country.
And what are your views about the economic situation in Croatia right now? Is this the biggest problem the country has?
Well, yes, because we haven't had investments in the past, I don't know, a year and a half, or maybe even 2, any major investments. And without major investments, you cannot have jobs.
And why do you have there are no investments?
Because our bureaucracy is horrible. It takes people a long time. When they want to invest, then they have to go through so many people, so many papers, and they never get it. And then after a while, they said, well, I'm going to go somewhere else where they have my papers ready within a month.
Yeah, but Prime Minister Milanovic said the other day in an interview, I think it was, that it's okay with the barriers. No, nothing more should be done. Is it okay?
No, it's not okay. It's not okay. I had a friend from Canada. He wanted to invest 10 million Canadian dollars in Dubrovnik, and he spent over a month going through Dubrovnik back and forth, and he just couldn't do it because they kept sending him from door to door. Like, they didn't say, like in Canada, when you want to invest, you go to the mayor of the city and you tell him how much money you have, what do you want, and he'll do the rest of it for you. He'll get you even land, maybe even they give you land for free, depends where it is. Because he knows you're going to build something, he knows you're going to open jobs there. And he's working with you to get that. In Croatia, you're on your own. Like, bring the money, do it there, whatever it takes you. You have some investors from, I was just reading about it a few months ago. You have investors from, I think, England. The guy is trying to invest in 13 years now. He's trying to invest.
Yeah, so and he's quite stubborn, by the way.
He's stubborn because his wife is Croatian, and he wants to invest. He lives here half and half, and he said he likes it, but he said bureaucracy is horrible, and still is.
Okay, and what do you think of the? Just to go around a bit, what do you think of the developments in Serbia right now? The agreement with Kosovo, the attempt of President Nikolic to apologize for the wars in former Yugoslavia?
Well, it's an attempt to apologize.
So you don't perceive it as an apology?
No, I don't perceive it as an apology because it is under some, what's the word?
Pressure? Under
pressure. And they have to do more than that for me to believe that they changed. Because
what should they do?
First of all, they have to admit that they were part of aggression on Croatia. They have to admit that. They didn't admit that yet. They have to return all the things that were taken from Croatia, like all the
property or
yes, or very high value, like from churches, from museums, from. they have to tell us we're, I think 1,600 people. We don't know their whereabouts yet. They're missing, and I'm sure they're probably dead by now. And their next of kin have to know where they are. Their families have to know so they can bury them properly. Now we're uncovering a mass grave in Sotin, and none of them said anything about it. Like they should, as far as I'm concerned, they should voice their, at least say they're sorry or offer something, because it's they want it to be treated in the world as Croatia and Serbia are equally guilty in this war. That it was a civil war. We're all saying guilty. Let's forget it and let's keep going on. But it's not. It's not going to happen. It shouldn't happen anyway.
Do you support?
And they also still. When you ask people in Serbia, they still think it should be Great Serbia from Virovitica, Karlovac, Karlobag. And when most people think like that, you don't really believe they changed.
Do you support Serbia's EU integration path?
Yes, why not? Why not? But we went through a very scrutinized laws. We went through very, very strict laws to join step by step to work through all the chapters that we had. So I think they should be too.
Being in the European Parliament sometimes gives a member or a country the leverage to put pressure on neighboring countries. Do you think that you would, for example, put conditions on Serbia if it starts accession negotiations, because every progress report is being viewed in the European Parliament? Do you think you would put any conditions?
Well, it depends what the rest of the European Union, what they want, what they want them to do. I wouldn't be like, I wouldn't try to be bigger Catholic than Pope, what they say, and then put extra pressure. But it's just that what I believe in, if the European Union didn't put that in, maybe I would put something that I believe they didn't ask them to do, but they should do. But
okay. What do you think about immigration? Should there be any restrictions within the European Union and for people from third countries?
From what I hear, that every country has its own law about immigration. So what I think it should be reciprocity for your EU countries.
You think there should be reciprocity? For example, the Netherlands is imposing labor restrictions for Croatian workers, and Croatia should.
Yes, I believe in reciprocity.
Okay, and will you defend this in the European Parliament?
Of course. I believe in reciprocity in everything, in minorities, everything, because I think if you're worth something to Bulgaria, then I should be worth something to Croatia. So if I live in Bulgaria, they should worry about my life or the way I live, same way your Bulgarians worry about you if you lived in Croatia. So it should be reciprocity. And I think if it was reciprocity, that people in countries would fight better for people living in somewhere else. I think it would be better, not for some minorities, but for all minorities would be better.
Mm-hmm. Let us go back for a while to Croatia. Do you think that the political system needs to change? Because, the low turnout for the European elections could be a sign that people are tired, exhausted of the political class.
Well, I don't think it's only that. It's our campaign time was very short. We didn't have much time. People weren't explained anything. People hardly knew what to do, and they thought it was a nice day. I don't know what to do. I don't think we can do anything in European Union to change anything anyway. So I'm not going. So they should. I think the government should have done more to explain to people where we're going, why are we going, why is it important to vote, and why should they vote, and how they can vote.
But do you think that people generally trust the political system and it doesn't need to be changed? Because there's a whole wave in a number of countries.
I think now that pretty well people in Croatia don't trust any politicians anymore. It's very hard.
It makes your tasks very difficult.
It is, but I don't, when they say, usually when I'm somewhere and they say all the politicians are saying, and then I was, no, except you, you're okay, we believe you. But I said next elections, I'll see how much they believe me, we'll see.
This is quite a lot of confidence for you. Are you afraid that you might not deliver?
Actually, I don't have a very long plan for myself. I have a plan to do well in local elections, to finish my 10 months in European Union, to do well next parliament elections, and then I'm saying goodbye to high politics. I'll be saying
what
goodbye.
What if you have a really big victory then?
I'm going to have so many young people ready to work. It's their future. Now my future is just fine. My future is very taken care of, let's say it like that. And why would I decide for young people that are very well educated, that are honest, that are hardworking, and they want to take their future into their own hands? Who am I to tell them what to do?
So you will be recruiting people for your party and then leave?
I have a whole bunch of young people. I think 75 to 80% are new people, new young people, never been to any party, well educated. And I want those people to be working in government or in parliament. And then I'm just imagining my speech saying, I did my job, goodbye, and I'll be watching you.
Well,
That's my dream.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I wish you all the success.
Thank you very much.